Now, China has denounced a lawsuit brought by the US state of Missouri over its handling of the coronavirus, calling it absurd. On Tuesday, Missouri filed the suit in a federal court, seeking an unspecified amount in damages and alleging that China did little to stop the spread of the virus, and as a consequence, Missouri residents have suffered economic losses of possibly tens of billions of dollars. Well, we can speak now to Chimene Keitner, who is Professor of International Law from the University of California's Hastings Law School in San Francisco, and is significantly, I should say, the author of a blog called Don't Bother Suing China for Coronavirus, which rather gives the game away, I suppose. Why are you so adamant that this is a fruitless enterprise?
Well, good morning or good evening here in California. And yes, I did write that a couple of weeks ago, actually. But apparently the Missouri Attorney General either didn't read it or didn't agree with it. So I have a follow-up analysis on the same blog today about why I maintain that opinion. I'm sure that many of your listeners have heard of the concept of foreign sovereign immunity. It's why you can't sue other countries in your own courts for things that they do that you don't like. And I don't...
Sorry to interrupt you there, Chimene, but they're going to have a go at the Communist Party rather than the state, it seems.
Well, and that is a distinction they're trying to emphasize. They're not the first ones. A couple of these private class actions also name the Communist Party. But I'm not a China expert, but I don't think you need to be one to know that they're essentially the same thing. And that's what a court will find as well.
Right. It's difficult to get over the sort of appreciation, really, though. This is a Republican state, and it's a sort of a PR mission, isn't it?
Well, we've been sheltering in place here in California for a number of weeks. And, I live not too far from that new first identified case. It was shocking to me, really, that states like Missouri didn't have statewide orders until, I think, in Missouri's case, April 6th. So there is a real politicization of public health in the country now. And it unfortunately falls along party lines. There's a perception, I think, that science gets in the way of the things that this government wants to do, the federal government anyway. And so we've had a real discrediting of scientists, of journalists. And along with this, we've got now a lawsuit against China brought by an individual state of the union, which is not something we would normally contemplate.
Do you think, briefly, do you think individuals in any given country might yet want to have their own lawsuits against authorities who are perhaps deemed to be slow to respond?
Well, I guess the question is, do you mean domestic or foreign authorities? So every country has its own rules.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, well, so every country has its own rules about whether or not you can sue your own state officials for their failures, but countries are generally unanimous in finding that you can't sue other countries for theirs. Now, again, I really understand and empathize with people's frustration. The stories that you've just aired are beyond heartbreaking, but this is going to need a diplomatic, collective, international solution. It's not going to be solved in a Missouri court.
No, I think you're right there. Chimene Keitner, thank you very much indeed for joining us.